Hello friend and welcome back to my channel, Blue Nose Trading. My name is Tori Solis and today I'm going to be testing Lavender Mist from Speedball Art. I'll be testing this glaze on 7 different clay body test tiles as well as on a textured white stoneware mug. This is a cone 6 glaze that's listed as lead-free, non-toxic, and dinnerware safe by the manufacturer. Before I open this glaze, I want to make sure that it's mixed extremely well. I'll start by giving the jar a good shake, making sure to use my thumbs to secure the lid so I don't end up with a face full of glaze. After a firm shaking, I like to mix up my glazes with an egg beater attached to a power drill. You want your glaze to be thoroughly mixed, and if you have clumped up mineral at the bottom, a glaze may not perform consistently or as intended. I'm going to be brushing glaze onto my test tiles. I brush my tiles in 1, 2, and 3 coats with the thickest coat at the top of the tile. I fire my tiles hanging on a high alumina rod to see how the glaze will perform on a vertical surface. In this way, I'm also testing for running. With the thickest coat of glaze at the top of the tile, if a glaze is going to have downward movement, it's got somewhere to go. I like to test glazes on lots of different clay bodies to get a general idea of how a glaze is going to behave on different colors and surfaces. Everyone out there is working with a different kind of clay, and maybe one of these tiles can help you guess at what might happen for you. As always, I strongly recommend that you make your own test tiles and fire them in your own kiln. Fire your tiles exactly how you would fire your normal work. There are a lot of different factors that go into how a glaze is going to turn out, and the best way to see how a glaze is going to work for you in your kiln on your clay with your application process is to do your own testing. Looking at the textured white stoneware mug, we have a soft blue with fine lavender modeling in the mix. I got a tiny amount of pitting on the surface of this mug, but nothing too major. There was a slight bit of pooling around the base of the handle where the glaze was extra thick, and there is a deeper maroon showing through in that section of the modeling. The glaze was fairly dense and covered up a good deal of the carved texture on the mug. On the white stoneware test tile, we have a glossy surface with soft lilac blue coloration, and we have more of the maroon lavender modeling in areas of thicker application. The glaze covered up much of the texture and doesn't really have a breaking effect on this tile. There aren't any signs of downward motion on this tile, suggesting a fairly stable glaze. There's a good deal more of the maroon lavender modeling coming through at 3 coats on the Laguna B mix tile. The surface is glossy with very minimal surface pitting in areas of thicker application. Thicker application also seems to give you a little bit more of the modeling effect. Laguna Frost porcelain has the best and brightest coloration with the modeling melting down slightly. There's a slight bit of downward motion on this tile, but if you do the dance with porcelain, I think it's worth it. The colors are spectacular and the surface is flawless and glossy. On my speckled stoneware, the modeling is a bit more subdued. The speckles are also mostly subdued under this glaze, not really bleeding through or adding to the glaze's appearance overall. The surface is glossy and the glaze seems stable with the most minimal of downward motion. Laguna Speckled Buff also has a toned down modeling with the speckles becoming near obsolete. The surface is glossy, textures get lost around 3 coats, and there's no sign of any noteworthy downward motion. Red stoneware has the consistent subtle modeling, a glossy surface, and no significant downward movement across the tile. Textures are muted at 2 coats and nearly lost at 3 coats. The Laguna B3 tile has good coloration in areas of thicker application, but it shows signs of mild pitting in thicker coats and much stronger pitting and blistering along the edge of 1 coat. More testing would be needed, but this glaze may not be the best fit for this black clay. All around this glaze is a soft blue lilac, lavender, and maroon modeling when applied correctly. I did see some minor pitting on some of the clay bodies tested, so I strongly recommend that you do your own testing with this one. This glaze has better coloration when applied slightly thicker, but can mute out any texture that you may have carved into the work. In my opinion, the best color and surface results were on the porcelain test tile, and I think there's a lot of potential to make some beautiful work with this glaze. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. I hope you enjoyed learning more about this glaze and can make use of this information in your own studio. If you'd like to help support my channel so I can get more glazes to test for you, consider becoming a member of my channel right here on YouTube. If you'd like to see all the ceramic work I currently have available for sale, visit my website, bluenosetrading.com. If you want to stick around for more art videos, be sure to subscribe to this channel, Blue Nose Trading. Thank you so much for being here until the end of the video. Remember that you have great ideas that are worth exploring, drink enough water, and I will see y'all in the next video.